Hello, and welcome to First Geek 411's book club. Tonight, we will be talking about Finn Family Moomitroll by Tove Jansson, translated by Elizabeth Porch.
Trying to get it out of the glare.
I had to return my copy to the library already, but
Imagine
I'm
it.
excited for this.
here it is. All right, with me, I have number one Moomintroll fan herself, Emma.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Moomintroll.
And Cameron.
Yeah, we discussed this beforehand. I just figured out it was Moom, Moom, as I was typing it out for the podcast. So that says something about my reading comprehension for this one. So here we are. We're having
Cameron,
a good
it's
time.
a kid's book.
We're having a good time, okay?
And I'm Shanine. You can find us at all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as OneGeek411. Come chat with us on our Discord server. Shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Watch live on our Twitch every Monday night at 6:45 Mountain Time, and find our videos over on YouTube. You can also check out some sweet, sweet merch at our Redbubble store. All right. Some fun facts. Jansson was born in 1914 and was a Swedish speaking Finnish author, painter, illustrator, and comic strip creator. Finn Family Moomitroll was published in 1948 and is the story of a group of odd fantasy creatures that find the hobgoblin's hat, which has magical abilities, and escapades ensue. What is everyone's first impressions?
I'm biased, so someone else go first.
I thought it was fine. Like, of all of the younger targeted books that we've read, not my favorite. It's goofy. It's silly.
It's goofy. It's silly.
Yeah, it's very whimsical, which I enjoyed. Um, and yeah, I'll talk more about it as we get going. I enjoyed it, just to clarify. I feel like if I don't come in at 100% positive, I feel like I'm being a downer. But I did enjoy it.
I love it. I mean, I'm biased. I recommended this book for the audience, just behind the scenes. Long story short, my aunt, who married into my mom's side of the family, her mother lived in Sweden or something along those lines. There's this whole family connection where we ended up learning about Moomintroll, and so now my entire mom side of the family, we all love Moomintroll, and we love the art, and it's just very simple, whimsy stuff. And so I'm a little biased because it's just, I mean, the art is fun and the stories are great. So, yeah, I loved it, but I'm biased.
I found it very whimsical and charming. I don't think it's like my new favorite book or anything, but it was cute and enjoyable and fun and silly. Just a good silly time.
I concur.
All right. How does this compare to other children's books like this that you've read?
Let me go to our YouTube real quick and go to our book club playlist, like anyone can do. I think of the ones that we've done for book club, namely, I just went to and typed book club instead of One Geek 411. Here we are. It's already been a week and it's Monday. Um, I really feel like, again, like our very first one was probably my favorite. And I feel like that one has kind of been, I guess you could say, like the gold standard for me when it comes
Which
to
one
the
was
book clubs.
that?
That's I always say it wrong. Midnight at the Barclay Hotel.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
That one was a lot of fun.
and so like I still think that's probably my top one for like the the younger focused ones that we've read. Um, I guess it's that one, this one, and Spider-Man are like the three that we have done. But
We did. I mean, we also did
oh, we did Letters from
I
Father Christmas.
that too. I would almost also consider Pure Nessie like a middle grade book, but I'm getting a head shake from Shanine.
Janine disagrees.
Okay, fine. Um, but I mean, this is high on my list. I feel like all of the sort of kids' books we've read, I've enjoyed. I think I got a little bored with um Spider-Man, and then there's that one, the random detective comic book one that I barely finished
Oh,
that
Secret
none of us
Identity.
liked. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think any of us liked that one. But this one definitely ranks towards the top for me for obvious reasons. It's fun and whimsy and like it's very simple, but it like leaves a lot to the imagination, which I like. So, yeah.
Think it was, I don't know, fun and silly. There was not a whole lot for me personally to like go deeper with or anything like that. I think I just kept comparing it to like the Chronicles of Narnia the
Mm-hmm.
whole time, and very different stories, obviously. But I think as far as styles of writing go, I prefer a bit of like deeper meaning with like the fantastical elements, and Moomintroll was, it was very light and fun. So if that's what you're looking for, it's good.
And the art's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I really liked the art.
There's fun art throughout.
Oh, I forgot to put in a question about the art. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to say about the art?
I like the art.
Yeah. I wish there was more. Like,
Yeah.
like honestly, like if we're gonna have like so much of it already, and a lot of it is very fun. I wish that like it feels like there's like one or two per chapter, and I would have liked there to have been more.
I
I
liked
think,
the muskrat.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was just gonna. Um, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, the muskrat just looks so frazzled.
Yeah.
So, what makes a good children's book to you, and what makes a children's book enjoyable by adults?
So I'll say I think a good children's book, IMO, is a book that you can like relatively easily sit down and read in short stints. Like that it's fun, it's light, it's some like and that I kind of spent a lot of time like going through this thinking like this is a book that like young Cameron would have really enjoyed like
Yeah.
at reading time in school. Like or to have like the teacher read to us like something like that. I think that that's a good sign like for children's books and I feel like that was one of the places that this shines. Like the chapters aren't that long. Like you can get through it pretty quickly. I feel like that's pretty good as a children's book. And then makes it enjoyable for adults. To me, it needs to have some sort of like bigger message, kind of beyond just like a base moral stance or a base moral statement kind of thing. Um, and yeah, I think that's kind of where I would land.
In terms of kids' books, the like fun, lightweight stuff, like Nothing that's super intense. Like as an adult, like I like this as a kid's book because it's like sometimes I don't want the deep moral stuff. Like I'm on the flip side in some cases because like sometimes I just want something that's easy to read. And this is one of those. And like sometimes I just want to read a, you know, book aimed towards kids that isn't too intense. Other times, if I do want something deep, I'll like go read Winnie the Pooh or pull a Chris and read Lord of the Rings. Um, or Narnia. I mean, Narnia will always be my favorite because that's what I grew up reading. Um, but I think kind of like what you were saying, Cameron, like for kids, this is Moomintroll is one of those book series that I also read growing up that like a short stint, like you can read it in chunks. And the Moomintroll books you can kind of read out of order and it all makes sense anyway. Um, and those were always the books that I would read as a kid, were the series that you could read kind of out of order and it all made sense anyway. Um, I'm thinking of like Animorphs and whatever other weird things aside from Aragon. I think that and one other random one that were like you had to read them in order. But oh, Percy Jackson. Um, but just things that you could pick up and grab one of the random books that I always liked as a kid. Um, and I'm a big proponent of pictures. I like picture books, especially when it's the author who does the pictures. So, yeah.
Um, being a daycare teacher, I have a lot of experience with children's books, and there are a lot of bad ones. Um, I think the worst ones for me are the ones that are only like a moral and there's not even like a story to go with it. Like very dull. So good children's books have good stories. Um, and I think also don't talk down to children. Like they can talk about harder
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, those are the ones that I like. And I think what makes a children's book enjoyable by adults kind of the same thing that makes it enjoyable for children. Have a good story and don't think your audience needs everything spelled out and explained
Yeah.
all the time.
In chat, Avoided Eye says, I feel like sometimes to enjoy a children's book, you have to be in the mood to suspend logic slash disbelief. And it's like eating a McDonald's ice cream cone. It's just fun. It sounds like this
Yeah.
was not a meaty children's book and more of a comfort children's book.
Yes. It very much is a comfort children's book. That's a good way to put it. Something easy and simple.
All right. Who were some standout characters for you?
Not in this book. I don't think Little Mai is in this book. Yeah, I don't think Little Mai is in this one. Little Mai is one of my favorites, but she's not in this book. Um, in which case, Sniff is my other favorite. Um, Sniff and Snufkin are my, and Little Mai are my three favorites. But uh, Snufkin's the one with the harmonica and who goes wandering off at the end of the book. And then Sniff is the little worry wart, as I call him. Those are my two favorites. And Snufkin has always been the standout, in my opinion, because he's this little theologian, just wanders around and contemplates the meaning of life. and it's very delightful.
I really liked the Grok for like the one section that like I mean I'm a sucker for like the buildup of like it's this super like scary thing and then it's just kind of like soft and cuddly.
Yeah.
But it's this thing that everyone's afraid of. Especially because like its introduction at the beginning, it's like the terror of everyone, the unmentionable horror, and then it's like this thing, and it's just like you just want to give it a hug.
Yeah.
And it's just upset because its stuff got stolen, and so
Has the right to be upset in that regard.
And so I really liked that, and then yeah, I liked the Moomin Mama too. She's doing work, getting stuff done.
Like to
Unlike
have a
Moomin
peaceful
Papa.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed Thingamy and Bob. They're just goofy little guys. And I just love that they're like, well, not everyone can speak their language, but they understand each other, and that's all that matters.
You know, sometimes you just need that one friend that understands you.
Yeah.
You just communicate entirely in internet memes.
And I also really enjoyed the muskrat. He was just so like frazzled and stressed out. And I feel like I related to him on a spiritual level. Segueing into our next question of standout moments. One of my favorite moments was the muskrat just wanting to be left alone to read his book. Like, can everyone just be quiet and not talk to him? I'm like, yeah.
Honestly, same.
The muskrat is the one with the hammock too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you just need like you're just vibing, and I feel like that was muskrat. Like, leave me alone. Just like I want to hang out and do my thing. While everyone
Why are
else
you
is
putting
stuff
pine
in the
cones in
hobgoblin
my
hat.
bed? Yeah. We're all gonna ride around on a clouds made of eggshells now. Because who wouldn't want to do that? It's the most delightful thing ever.
What other standout moments were there for you?
I always like the clouds, the cloud moment. The other moment for me is when they meet the little ghost, the ghosty goos. Gosh, dang it, what are they called? I should know this as the fan of Moomintroll, but when they're on the island
Like
and
Orkin lump or something?
The
Yeah.
hot and fatteners. Those.
yeah. And
Throw some letters together.
Yeah, exactly.
They-
Just it's something like
yeah, they get upset because someone wanders off with their little weather machine, whatever that's called.
Barometer.
Yeah.
I only remember that because I made a barometer in school once, and I was like, I know what that is.
But that's another moment I enjoyed. Because it's just like, oh yeah, they're just wandering off to an island for vacation because they can. And then they meet the mysterious inhabitants of the island and accidentally steal their things, and then the Snork Maiden gets a haircut because they just want their thing back. It's all just lessons of give things back to the people they belong to.
Yeah. I really liked that chapter as well. There's a point in that chapter that like made me laugh where they're like getting ready to pack, and it's Moomin Mama hurried off to pack. She collected blankets, saucepans, birch bark, a coffee pot, etc., etc. She packed it all with an umbrella, warm clothes, etc., etc., etc. She bustled to and fro, racking her brains for anything she had forgotten. And at last she said, "Now I am ready." Oh, how lovely it'll be to have a rest by the sea. Moomin Papa packed his pipe and his fishing rod. And if that's not just like them like calling out very specific people, I don't know what is. And I was like, I see you coming in with them jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that section. I like the adventure. I like them going out to sea, uh, and even though it's like relatively early on, kind of getting like a change of scenery versus the rest of the book that just kind of happens at or around their house. It's kind of cool to see them go out on a journey.
Yeah.
We don't really have any villains, especially once we get to the end. Um, what do you think of the antagonists that show up? Their behavior, how they're handled by the Moomins, and by the story in general. I feel like they also antagonize each other
Yeah,
occasionally.
I would just say, are the
Yeah.
Moomins the antagonists? Like it was
Everyone
kind of
just
unclear.
antagonizes
They
everyone.
just think they're the protagonists.
Yeah. That was kind of the vibe of like, here's the antlion. They're super scary. They'll pull you down in their hole and eat you. But we're going to go antagonize them and trick them and then put them in a hat, like, to see what happens. Like, again,
Dig them up out of
it's like, are we the bad guys?
Can't possibly be the bad guys. And when Moomin Mama's handbag goes missing, and it's Thingamy and Bob who take it, like they are kind of each other's bad guys, unintentionally / intentionally. I mean, aside from the Grook, who is perceived as the one of the other bad guys, in quotes, it really does just feel like them having. It feels like a kid's summer, like how kids cause chaos during the summer. But I mean, a lot of the bad guys who show up is just they're just trying to live their own lives, and it just happens to cause mayhem for the Moomin family. Someone just wants to find a big diamond ruby. Someone just wants their property back. Someone else just wants to read their book in peace and silence. Like
the antlion literally was minding their own business.
Yeah, the antlion was minding their own business. At one point, they hold court to then decide how the people are going to get their items back.
Yeah, in the most kangaroo court ever.
In the most kangaroo court ever. If that isn't just the most delightfully chaotic way to deal with antagonists, then it's just like, all right, what else are you going to do in a kid's book? Not hold court and not be fun?
Yeah, like you were saying, Emma, like they're not really, nobody in the book is really a bad guy. They're just like trying to live their life and do their thing. And suddenly someone's stealing their barometer or stealing their big gem they've been looking for forever. Or it's all just like misunderstandings.
Yep.
And I did like with like that especially for when it comes to a lot of kids books, it's like this is like all of these problems were resolved, well, like most of them were resolved like without violence or anything. Like again, they do like literally kidnap the antlion, but like they're typically resolved without violence or anything, and I think that that's cool. It's definitely something positive, especially with like the hobgoblin at the end. Like it's something that is I like their like little solution to make everybody happy at the end, and
everyone gets a wish.
Yeah.
You get a wish and you get a wish.
I thought that was pretty cool.
All right. Any dislikes from the novel?
I
I
mean,
wish
it
there was.
is very simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I love the simplicity of it, but I do always want more. I always want more Moomintroll. Go for it, Cameron.
Yeah, mine kind of ties in with that exact thought of like, uh, these are kind, and this kind of goes to what Emma was saying towards the very beginning about like this is really something that you can just read in whatever order. It doesn't really matter. There's like some connective tissue between the chapters, but not really. Like, and I do kind of wish there was a little bit more of that. Like the hobgoblin's hat is kind of the only like real through line through all of the chapters. And I kind of wish there was a little bit more that was going on there. Um, like in the end, I'm like, I don't know why. Like if that makes sense. Of like, I don't know really where we ended up. I don't know, and it's like it's a fun light read. Again, it's simple. I don't necessarily think it needs to be more than that. Uh, but definitely on my end, it just kind of feels like this was fun and we're done. Like,
Yeah. Moving on.
yeah, I think it's like both its greatest strength and its greatest weakness to me.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say as well. Its strength is its weakness as well. Just if you're looking for something goofy and silly, it's perfect. If you're not, it is going to be a weirdly tougher read for
Yeah.
something that is such a simple read.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite quotes from the book. Life is not peaceful, said Snufkin contentedly. I just love how seemingly contradictory that whole statement is. Um, Contentment and peace, I think, often go hand in hand in our thinking. So, what do you think of Snufkin's observation, and what is contentment to you?
Yep. I
I
think a lot of
think,
times we can confuse like peace with like stillness with like nothing really going on. And like to me, like reading that, it's like peace can be adventure, it can be things going poorly, but or life can be those things, but you can still be content in those moments. Like it can be about the friends that you made along the way, kind of thing. And
this book really is the treasure we found were the
yeah,
friends we made along the way.
yeah,
If I had to sum this book down, it would be that phrase. Um, I think being content is knowing that life will never be perfect to the extent of like we cannot make our own lives perfect no matter how we try, like in the movies, perfect in the way of like the movies or Hollywood or whatever. And knowing that is just what makes someone content, like um and peace. It I don't know where I'm mentally going with this, but um just knowing that life is chaotic and always will be and will never always go the way we planned is the best way to approach life because it's not going to go the way we want it to go. And if we just know that, then we're going to have a more enjoyable time on the roller coaster that is life. Um, so, yeah.
In chat, Avoided Ice says, I think I equate peace more with stillness and relaxation, and contentment more with happiness with the circumstance, even if it's not still or relaxing or orderly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I think kind of to go off that, like, and this kind of ties in with the Moomin family as a whole, but like you can be content in like a chaotic situation. So the idea of like this chaotic family that they have, like there's not a lot of peace in the Moomin family, but there is a lot of contentment. Like there is that happiness with where they are, even when it's chaos because they're hiding pine cones in each other's beds, and or turning the house into a jungle.
Yeah. Because that's fun.
You know, just a Tuesday.
Just a Tuesday.
Just a regular Tuesday in the Moomin household.
Right. And speaking of life in the Moomin family, what do the Moomins have to say about family?
That anyone can be part of your family, even if they're not related.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you need a household to live with, just join. Come with us. We've got a spare bedroom or a spare bed. Maybe
Yeah,
not a spare
somewhere.
bedroom, but we have a spare bed somewhere. We'll fit you right in. And that is delightful because we should all just learn to open our arms more to the people around us and be like, welcome to the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That was another of my favorite parts. Like Thingamy and Bob show up with their suitcase, and Moomin Mama's like, "Well, I guess they live here now."
Yeah.
You're a
Find
part
them
of
a
the
bed.
family.
One of us. One of us.
We'll take you. We'll put you somewhere.
Yep, I agree. I love the found family vibe, especially like with the context of like what year this came out and like being so close to World War II. Uh, I really liked that idea of like uh, home and kind of community by that extent, and family are they're who you choose to spend time with, not necessarily who you're biologically related to. And so I liked that a lot.
And I think also it just being such a place of accepting as well. Like we got such a range of personalities in this family as well. You've
Mm-hmm.
got the grumpy muskrat who just wants to be left alone to read his book. We have adventurers going off and looking for wild things and throwing things in hats to see what'll happen, and even when they're pranking each other or like purposefully antagonizing each other, there's never a question of like them not belonging or being wanted.
They are all wanted.
Any other themes that you noticed?
I feel like there's a theme of like cause chaos, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
It'll
that's necessarily
resolve
what they meant
itself.
to get across, but like that's definitely there. like um like I mean, I don't think they would have had this connotation of the word, but like be a troll, it'll be fine. Like just be friendly to people. like uh I definitely think there's a bit of that vibe, which I mean I think plays into the whimsy and the adventure of the book. Of like we're going on a journey. Where are we going? Who knows? But we'll figure it out along the way.
Treat life as though it's summer. Just
Yeah.
play endlessly. See every opportunity as a chance to play.
Anything else that stood out to you or quotes you have to share?
I think the art is the most delightful part.
Mm-hmm.
I would say just if you ever get the chance, just at least flip through a Moomintroll book just to look at the art. Because it's so delightful. Like, that's just so fun. It's just, there's so much going on. I love the art. I could look at the art all day.
For me, I really liked the last chapter with the hobgoblin. Um, and it kind of does the Aladdin thing, where it's like the hobgoblin can't wish for something for themselves, but they can grant other people's wishes. And sometimes all it takes is one person not being selfish and using their wish to help somebody else, uh, and that can solve the problem.
Yep.
I really liked that. I'm problem in air quotes, but like the giant ruby that
Yeah.
was definitely hidden, stolen. Somehow they're on the moon.
Missing?
Kind of unclear.
Question mark.
Yeah, and so I really liked that. Again, I think that was a fun solution, and I liked that we got to see that kind of family aspect play out there. Of it's somebody making a small sacrifice for the other people, and that's kind of how they stop the big bad of the antagonist that's literally granting everybody wishes. So
yeah.
Any final thoughts on Finn Family Moomitroll?
it's fun. It's whimsical. Definitely recommend it as a light read, especially if you have young kids that you could read it to, or are around young
story.
kids.
Yeah. Just have to say, I love, at least in my copy, there's a review from both Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Um, I described this book or the series as the Swedish Finnish version of Winnie the Pooh to people because it's like it fits. I mean, there's no real other way to describe it to people. It's like if Winnie the Pooh were written by someone from a different, country that speaks a different language, that's like has a very different culture, and it's just lighthearted and delightful. Oh, here we go. My mother is saying, okay, according to my mother, my great aunt Liddy was a CIA agent in Finland and learned about the Moomin trolls and sent books to us from Finland, plus a little felt Moomin troll figure. So, that is how we learned of Moomintroll was through a great aunt who was apparently a CIA
Yeah,
agent.
I feel like I have way more questions now.
So that's how you know about Moomintroll.
Yeah, I feel like I have so many questions.
Thanks, Mom, because I know you're watching. I love you. But that answers that question. Apparently, it wasn't Mondo. It was the great aunt who was a CIA agent.
Apparently, it was a CIA agent. Just casually. And was casually in Finland for some reason. Again, I have so many questions.
Casually. The Marshalls are a wild bunch.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Cool. Um, yeah, I think this would be an ideal family read aloud book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, all right. Our next book club will be on July 27th, and we do not yet have a book selected because we are going to get you all to vote.
Yay!
Yay!
Vote for us. Vote for us.
We
Decide
have
for
had
us.
Yeah.
we have had graphic novel summer, we have had superhero summer, and this year we will be having classic geek summer.
Ooh.
Which is not
Where
classic Greek summer, which is how I
Two
definitely read this the first
two
time.
very different things.
could
For
also
suddenly reading the Odyssey
Yeah.
for the summer.
I'm down.
Of course you are, Janine.
Why not? Let's do it. No, but
For the record, I still have not finished Dune, so
it's the summer. I feel like we could do like one book over 2 months as well
yeah.
if we wanted to do a longer thing. But, anyways, not reading Greek literature. We're reading geek literature, so you will be voting on things such as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Princess Bride,
Yeah.
The Last Unicorn.
Yeah.
Probably those three, unless a fourth one occurs to me before I put up the poll after we're done podcasting. Or if someone in
Good
chat
Omens
has
is
a really...
pretty nerdy.
It
in
is,
my
but is
humble
it
opinion.
classic geek literature?
It's classic in my heart, Janine.
I understand.
You know what else is classic geek? Dune.
Yeah.
We did that already.
No, well, correct. We did that already.
Some
I
people
did a
have done that
third
already.
of it. I'll get there one day.
Janine, we've derailed you. We're just on theme with the
good at
Moomin
that.
family.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to blame the CIA.
Yeah. Just blame the CIA.
Things took a turn, and we just have not been able to get it back.
Plot twist. Emma's great aunt was in the CIA. And for whatever reason was in Finland.
All right. But anyways, check out our Twitter. We'll be posting the link in our Discord as well to vote for our next book. This has been Finn Family Moomitroll with First Geek 411. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Join our Discord server. Email us at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Check out our Redbubble store. Watch live on our Twitch and find our videos over on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at The Hoot and Howl or Instagram Hoot and Howl Tales, TALES.
I'm Kumar Whittle.
I'm not prepared with an eye. I'm getting distracted by notifications. Apparently it was the 1950s and 60s.
It's been a great
Read
week.
book.